Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for May 31st, 2020. How did we get to the last of May? Oh, I don't know why May seemed to fly by compared to, April and March were like forever. So, but it's still, the world is chaotic. I've not looked at the news this morning. I haven't let myself. Last night I was pretty upset about everything that's going on in the world just because I feel very, I don't know what to do kind of thing. It's one of those things where a lot of things are happening. I'm not, like, I feel that a lot of the people are taking things the wrong way when we should all be working together and looking for change rather than all the stuff that is happening. I mean, so again, I just don't have words, I guess, and I'm not very good at talking about it. So I don't usually bring stuff like that up in my videos, but I just thought I'd say, I had a really rough night last night just watching the news and just feeling very helpless for my point of view, but more for what other people are going through or go through all the time that I do not have to deal with. And so that was the part that hurt. And it's, having friends from everywhere around the world, as well as from all different skin colors, it's really hard for me to understand a lot of people's point of views of certain things that don't make sense to me. And I don't know, the whole thing, as I said, it's hard to explain. I'm very sad for so many things, and it's just, I feel a little off. So it does seem kind of weird to come on here and do a lot of book stuff, but for me, this is my outlet. This is something I do for fun. This is something for me to enjoy. So I just wanted to say that. Sorry, I rambled about that a little bit, but I just wanted to address that. So anyway, I didn't read a whole lot this week. It was a hard week even though we had the holiday here in the US, again, is that the news has just been horrendous. So I went into escapist mode, and I tend to do that and then shut the TV off or shut the news off and don't look at social media as much. Again, last night I broke that, and the night before, and just watched way too much, and that's probably why it's so depressing to me right now. So as I said, I am reading, let's see, let me pull it out. I am still reading The Mirror and the Light by Hilary Mantel. I'm just not making a lot of progress. I only picked this up twice this week, and I didn't read very much. So I haven't made much progress. I am still just under 200 pages. I'm working on this again. This is the third book in the Thomas Cromwell series. I think most of the reason is because this is, as I said, this is very dense, very, I have to have everything off. I have to be concentrating on this to even get a few pages done. There's just so much packed in each section and in each paragraph. Like, there's just so much going on, and I know I'm going to miss something just because there's just so many details. I am going to work on this. I still have this through the month of June. Our libraries are not opened yet because, again, I got this right before the libraries closed. But they're anticipating that we might by the end of the month. They're not sure yet. They haven't given us dates on stuff. But they have our stuff all checked out to the end of June. So I do have all of June to finish this. It's probably going to take me that long because I think I'll be reading it intermixed with other books just because I can only read so much at a time, and I read this so slowly. Like, I'm a slow reader compared to a lot of people. Like, a lot of people here on BookTube seem to read a lot faster than I do in an hour. But I read at my speed, and this is just taking me forever. So this is going to be a continuation. So I fought that. Like, I kept looking at it going, I don't want to read that. So, of course, I picked up rereads so that I would read something, at least feel like I was making progress on something. So I picked up the 2 rereads that I was going to read already. Well, I was going to read them in June, but I decided to pick them up in May just to get them done. So I picked up Ocean Light by Nalini Singh, which is book 17 in the Psy Changeling series, or book 2 in the Psy Changeling Trinity series. So again, it's the season 2 of the first set of books. This one follows a human and a Psy and how their relationship, as well as all the political machinations between humans, changelings, and Psys as they fight for control of the world. And again, Psys are like psychics. So, and again, they're very powerful because they're gone more business oriented. Not so it's like they're all fighting for control of the world, and then here are two in that. And this is not one of my favorites, but it's a really solid novel. I get it. I think there's one little flaw in it. To me, is a little too insta-lovey for me of all the series. I would say this is the one that bothers me the most about that. But other than that, I liked all the other stuff about it and how we got to see Black Sea and all that other things. And it was great. I still enjoyed it. I love the reread because it's been, I don't know if I don't think I read this last year at least one time. So I mean, again, it's one of the newer ones. It's from 2018. So I've read it a couple of times. So I don't know. Anyway, so then after I finished that, I picked up the next book number 18, which is Wolf Rain by Nalini Singh. Again, this came out last year, I think in June. I, of course, read it then, and then I read it another time later in the year. I did my first reread late last year, and I hadn't picked it up yet this year, so I already knew I was going to. This is definitely near the top of the series, because again, this is book number 19. So, but I really enjoy this one. Again, this is a wolf and a Sai, and so they are, I like the way we get to see the clans and the packs and how things are changing in the world. And again, that all stuff is still happening. I just really enjoyed this book. So this is a great reread. As I said, the 19th book is coming out on June 9th. So I was reading these to prepare for that. Not that I needed to. I just wanted to. Oh! And then I knocked the camera. Great. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's not the cats this time, it's me. Anyway, so I read those this week. This week, as I said, has been kind of chaotic in the world, and work was hard just because it was a short week and it was just, things were going on. There was nothing like specific at work. It was just work, you know. But at least I'm working, I admit that. So anyway, so yesterday I did read some of The Mirror and the Light, but I didn't get very far. So I kind of looked around and said, well, okay, I've already done a couple rereads. I really should pick up something new. And I did look at finishing a book that I had started in March, which I haven't finished yet, but then it wasn't calling to me. So I decided to pick up one of the books that were from my June TBR. So, but it was also on my 5-star prediction. So I already knew this is a book that had been sitting in the wings, waiting all month in May for me to read. I had it sitting next to me all month, and I just never picked it up because I was struggling to work on The Mirror and the Light, which I'm still working on anyway. But I picked up Behind the Throne by K.B. Wager. So this follows Hale Bristol, who left her royal family behind 20 years before, and due to her father's death and wanting to find who killed him, and then she kind of becomes a gun runner and just like gets away from the whole royal thing. She doesn't want anything to do with it, so she leaves behind her sisters and her mom and her who's the Empress. Anyway, and she, you know, goes on and lives her life. Well, then it starts real, like right away you're like thrown right into it. Is something that's happened on her ship, and people are dead, and she's barely alive, or, you know, she's really injured. And she doesn't know what exactly happened, and she is caught by 2 trackers, and they know that she is the princess who ran away. Anyway, so then it's bringing her back because things have happened just recently in their empire. Again, this is Space Odyssey kind of thing. So she's so something's happened. She has to come back, and it's her having to deal with going back into that straitjacket of being royalty and all that entails, as well as all the political intrigue I'm sure is coming. I'm only about 75 pages in. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I forgot before I started it that it was first person, and I have to be very careful on that because I really like first person, but I have to really enjoy the voice of who that is. I mean, again, most of my urban fantasy is first person, so I forget that sometimes sci-fi does that too, but it threw me off. At first, I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So, but it's working out really well. I do like her voice, and I do, I'm not having any trouble with her inner thoughts or anything like that. Like, to me, it's working really well, and I like from her point of view, because you get her history kind of mixed in, and then her. My cats are out there raising around. I don't know if you can hear the little nails on the on my floors. Anyway, but this is really going well, and I'm hoping to get through this week. But we'll see. As I said, I'm going to try to intermix this and The Mirror and the Light. During the week, I'm going to try to make myself read The Mirror and the Light first and see how far I can get before I go, okay, I need to read something else, and then I'll switch to this. Again, I'm not very good at reading 2 books at once, which is why when I was rereading the Nillingi Singh books, I didn't read The Mirror and the Light at all. But I have got to find a way to get through The Mirror and the Light. But I'm hoping that this will help, because this is completely different. I mean, again, completely. But so far, it's going pretty well. So then I do want to try to finish this today. Is Showa, A History of Japan, 1953 to 1989 by Shigeru Mizuki, translated by Zach Davidson. So this is again a manga about the history of Japan, as well as Mizuki, as he is becoming a more famous manga artist by this point in his life. And so I got about I think about halfway. Either that or I'm just over halfway. No, I'm just halfway. So I'm halfway through this. I would really like to finish this, because this is the only thing that I could count for Asian Readathon. I did not get to any books I wanted to. I had a whole range of things I could have picked. I was figuring the last week I would pick up a couple, because I hoped by then I would be done with The Mirror and the Light, and that didn't work out. And then I started rereading. So anyway, I want to finish this, so at least I have one title for that. And I do want to finish this. This is volume 4 out of, so I've read the other 3 during this year, and I've really enjoyed this. I think there's a lot of good information in here and the perspective. Again, this is what I like about nonfiction. And again, being this kind of / memoir, I like the fiction, the nonfiction part or the history part of it rather than the memoir, but it still kind of throws a flavor in it of showing a normal person during that time. That all this stuff was going on, even though he's really funny about talking about himself. It's just, he's very self-depreciating. He makes it, I don't know if he's quite as such a slacker as he portrayed, but it was kind of funny. But overall, I really enjoyed this series, and I want to finish it out. And as I got halfway of this, so I'm hoping today I can at least knock it out. So at least I have one title for Asian Readathon. I was hoping to do more. It just didn't work out. And then I'm hoping this week, it's been about a month almost since I listened to an audiobook, and I think I'm about ready to restart listening to stuff again. But I'd really like to get back to Romantic Outlaws, The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon. I made it 110 pages in. On the first day I read this, I listened to it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I don't remember what it was. It was a lot. And then for work. And then I haven't picked it up since, because I think I burnt out, because I listened to that right after listening to a Nillingi Singh book. Anyway, but I want to get back to this and try to finish this out in June, since I haven't finished it in May. And because again, there's so many audiobooks I would like to get to, but again, I go through phases where I read a lot of audiobooks and then I don't read any. And I think I've had one of those periods, so I'm hoping I'm coming out of it. We will see. So that is it. That is what I have read and what I'm hoping to read in the next week. I did put up my TBR yesterday for what I think I'll read in the month. Never know. Clearly, because I didn't even know I was going to pick up Behind the Throne yesterday, and that was after I filmed that video. So, well, I don't know. It could go in all directions, but I'm going to be working on The Mirror and the Light, hopefully. Anyway, what are you guys reading? How are you guys doing? I just hope everybody's safe and still doing as much social distancing. But if you are out there doing more, I applaud you in a lot of ways. I just can't focus on a lot of things right now. It's just been really hard with everything in the world going on. It's just, it's unreal in a lot of ways. And I'm still trying to come to terms with a lot of that. So, I don't know if that makes any sense or whatever. So anyway, as I said, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.